This is the F-160 Raiju. It is well acclaimed by many players as the best aircraft in all of Grand Theft Auto Online, and I don't disagree. This aircraft has many fantastic capabilities. It's fast. In fact, it is the fastest jet in the game, going at 232 miles per hour when reaching terminal speed. It also has an explosive machine gun, which we can see here. The explosive machine gun is really dangerous, and it'll blow up most lightly armored vehicles in a pass. It has homing missiles, and most notable is the fact that it has stealth mode, allowing it to be unseen by anybody on the map in a public lobby. And my favorite part about the Raiju is the fact that it has a hover mode. And it's really easy to use the hover mode. You can use the explosive machine gun wherever you are, fire homing missiles. It's really nice because of this. However, there's a couple downsides with the F-160 Raiju that other aircraft are better at. And not only that, but there's a big downside, and that's the price tag. Now, obviously, if you are a player that already owns the F-160, or you are a player that has hundreds of millions of dollars in your account, then this video might not be for you. But for players that are new and inexperienced to GTA, there's a lot of deception when it comes to what you should spend your money on. If you searched up a video on the best jet in GTA, this is what you'd see. But in reality, there are much smarter financial decisions that you can make as a beginner that will allow you to get much further along with also less money spent. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. 3 alternatives, which in my opinion completely outclass the Raiju and take advantage of those weaknesses. So what are my problems with the Raiju? Well, there's 2 of them. First of all, it doesn't really survive any explosions. One missile, it's smoking. The second one, it's already blown out of the sky. And when you pair that with the fact it doesn't feature any flares, that's a bit of a bummer. You might have stealth mode, but it's not going to stop you from having a homing missile lock onto you. And that is, yeah, a bit of a shame. These aircraft here definitely clean up that category, and the craziest part is the price tag. If we go over to Warstock Cash and Carry right now, and we sort by price, we can see that purchasing an F-160 Raiju is going to set you back $7 million. And that's without even mentioning that you could get the trade price, but to get that trade price, you have to purchase the Special Operations Terminal inside of the Avenger, which means not only do you need to buy an Avenger as a new player, but you also then have to buy a $1.5 million upgrade, which gives you an absolutely useless storyline of missions. In fact, every single content creator that has played the missions has said it's not worth it, just buy the Raiju flat out. And I agree. So you're going to be spending, with upgrades, about $7 million to get that single aircraft. In return, you can get the Rogue for $1.2 million. You can get the Hydra for $3 million, and you can get the Savage for, I don't even know how much it is, but it's less than $2 million. Essentially, you can buy all 3 of these aircraft in front of me for less than that single jet, and still have some spending cash left over. And that's crazy. But let's start off with the one thing, which I think a lot of people forget, right? Every time I make a video talking about the Raiju, you always see people in the comments that are like, but it has stealth mode. That's such a big advantage over any of these aircraft which don't have stealth mode. Well, believe it or not, these 3 aircraft do feature stealth mode. You want to see how to activate it? Well, I go onto my phone, and then I go over to Lester, and then I call Lester. And after about 5 seconds, he's going to pick up. And there's this option called Off the Radar. Now, when you're in a public lobby, you have the ability to purchase that. This will make you invisible to anybody on the map for a minute. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever in a situation where you need to sneak up on somebody, I'd much rather sneak up on them with one of these aircraft and just purchase Off the Radar from Lester. That's not enough time for you? Well, become a CEO. And then you can go to CEO abilities and purchase Ghost Organization again when you're in a public lobby. It's $12,000 for Ghost Organization. It hides you and any of the product you are delivering for 3 minutes. $12,000 is dirt cheap for the ability to go unseen on the radar for 3 minutes at a time. So yes, stealth mode is great. But at the end of the day, it's dirt cheap for me to go stealth mode in a public lobby, and I can use much better and more dangerous aircraft to go in stealth mode. Which is why I don't really find stealth mode that much of a selling point. There's just not many situations. Today in my live stream, I had somebody who asked me, what do I think's better, the Akula or the FH-1 Hunter? And I said, well, judging that I can call Lester and go off the radar whenever I want, and then just have a flat better aircraft in every other way, 10 out of 10 I'd go with the FH-1 Hunter. And that's the same way I feel out of the Raiju, is that sure, it's great, but I do think there are better jets and aircraft. First of all, we have the Savage. If you want an aircraft that has an explosive machine gun, has hovering capabilities, and can still fly around 160 miles per hour, then the Savage is an incredible choice. This aircraft features the most dangerous weapon in the game, apart from the orbital cannon, but if we're actually talking about vehicles which you can control, this is by far the most dangerous. Do you see how fast those explosions are hitting? And by the way, we can see like a fully, fresh helicopter here. Look at how fast it blows something up. Each one of these explosions does the same damage as a sticky bomb. That means in about 2 seconds of hitting an Amani Tech vehicle, you'll blow it up. Even an Insurgent Pickup Custom, you'll blow up in about 4 seconds of shooting. It is, it's quite overpowered, and if you see me in 1v1 situations, the Savage is an aircraft I will bring out quite a bit. And the best thing about the Savage and the Hydra is that you can call both of these aircraft in without even owning a hangar. There's no upgrades for them. I mean, yes, you can change the color, but you actually can't upgrade these aircraft. What they come with stock are what they come with fully upgraded. I should also mention that this Savage does feature spammable homing missiles, just like the Sparrow, which is really nice. And it can survive 2 explosions. So it's durable, it has the most dangerous weapon in the game, and it's about 1/5 of the price of the F-160 Raiju. Okay, well, let's talk about a hovering jet. You want a jet which has VTOL, an explosive machine gun, homing missiles, a top speed over 210 miles per hour? At half the price? Well, get your hands on a Hydra. I'll be honest, I don't see much of a reason to get a Raiju when the Hydra exists, especially if you can just go off the radar by calling Lester or going into Ghost Organization. We can see the Hydra features the same explosive machine gun, except it's not wing-mounted, which means it's a little easier to direct where the missiles are going, and same for the explosive machine gun. And it has the same homing missiles as we can see, and it also has the same hover mode, so I can go into hover mode, and I can obviously use this aircraft just the way I want. Now, I will say the hover mode is a little more challenging to use with the Hydra. It's kind of glidey, but I personally like it more. I think it's easier to come in at a sweeping angle at somebody if they're trying to run away. It's very easy to control the jet sideways and just come in at an angle, which is actually really nice like this, as we can see. So there are advantages to both, but what I can say is that there's really not that many advantages for the Raiju to really pin it over the Hydra, especially for a $3.8 million more price tag. And that brings us to the final aircraft. I did not mean to vault out of my plane there. That brings us to the Rogue. And personally, if you're going for that PvP fight, right? Let's say, oh, I really want to just fight people in my aircraft. I want to win. Well, the Rogue is just flat better. Why? Well, not only does the Rogue feature a top speed only 10 miles per hour slower, ranking it as the 3rd fastest aircraft in the game, but it has some major advantages. First of all, it flies really slow when you're not pressing on the accelerator and you're at low altitude. This is great because the aircraft actually has bombs, as we can see here. This makes it super easy to come in for a bombing run when you fly really slow close to the ground. It also makes it very easy to use your explosive machine gun when you're pretty slow off the ground, because you can just come in for a little strafing run, blow everything up, and then get back in the air. But what's great is once you step on that gas and you do bring it up a little bit in altitude, the Rogue is incredibly fast, as we can see. It also features homing missiles, so it has all those capabilities, but it has flares. As we can see, flares distract missiles. So you can shoot a missile and then launch a flare, and there you go, off goes the missile. So you have the ability to distract missiles. You also have the survivability of 3 homing missiles, the 4th one blowing you up, and you can seat an extra person, which is great if you ever want to pick somebody up. The Rogue is also much more maneuverable than the Raiju. If you're in a dogfight, the Rogue will win 9 times out of 10 if you have the same skill level pilots, because look at how fast the Rogue can turn. I know there's a lot of people that don't like how fast it turns, but trust me, if you're a skilled pilot, the more maneuverability you have, the better. So with that being said, you can purchase a single F-160 Raiju for $6.8 million, or you can purchase the best PvP aircraft in the game. The most dangerous weapon aircraft for completing missions being the Savage, and you can also purchase a jack-of-all-trades, the Hydra, which the really only disadvantage of the Hydra is a slight bit of top speed disadvantage and the fact that it doesn't have stealth mode. But as we went over, stealth mode really isn't that big of an advantage when I can just go into, off the radar whenever I want. So yeah, you can obviously let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below. There's guaranteed going to be people that stand up for the Raiju and say, oh, but this, but that about the Raiju. But I think if you're a beginner, get your hands on the Rogue. That's what I'll say. The Rogue is $1.2 million, And with that extra money, you can purchase a Kosatka, you can purchase a Sparrow, you can purchase so many better and just well-adjusted purchases. And at the end of the day, as I always say, this channel's for beginners. So if you're a beginner, think twice before you spend all of your money on one big purchase. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.